Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal, where we have one more one more battle, one more mission. Mission's a good word for the mission. One more mission to do here on this world, and then we're going to have to formulate a new plan. I have absolutely no idea what we want to do beyond this. How close are we to being able to receive 5 skull missions from the Draconis Combine? You need at least 80 rep, and we currently have 60, so there is no way we can make this happen off of this mission, because we can only get a maximum of 13. But we can keep building in that general direction, and the Federated Suns hate us as much as it is possible to hate us, so we don't have to worry about what they feel about this. It's only a 3 skull, so my guess is we're probably not going to see a ton of salvage that we care about, and we're probably about to fly a pretty considerable distance. It might be a good idea to weight this one toward cash. We'll keep one piece of priority in case we see a mech that matters. We do have a limited amount of time remaining. I should talk about this a little bit. We do need to try to finish off all of our mech classes, and I've done a lot of, whatever, we'll have time. Up to this point, somewhere around here we have to stop thinking that way. We are more than halfway done with the campaign, and we still have a lot of mechs left to finish. So we have to, I guess, start prioritizing taking home pieces of mechs a little bit more heavily, but still I think this is the right move for this mission. And before we can begin the mission, we have to find out what the other right move is gonna be. Those segs are always so clean. How do you guys even stand how good I am at this job? Glorious Blood Wheel. Tell me a thing. The Glorious Blood Wheel wants us to run it hot. That's a thing we do all the time anyway. So, run it hot is no mech with 5 bars of heat efficiency or greater can be brought on the mission. This one does not have a very big difficulty modifier because it's pretty much just the way we always play the game. So we're allowed to bring up to 3.5 skulls worth of big metal body here. Let's figure this out. I mean, you kind of want to, in a situation like this, you kind of want to bring the Warhammer, right? It feels like a Warhammer kind of time. We will not be able to use... Okay, we could use the Thunderbolt. I was going to say we'll not be able to use the Stalker, because the Stalker... Oh, no, wait, sorry. 5 is the limit. We cannot have... Does it say 5 or fewer, or does it say fewer than 5? It says... fewer than 5. Oh, well. So no missiles. No big missile pod bot. What do we want to bring, then? We can bring the Griffin. The Griffin's pretty mean. We could bring the Penance Mech. Also mean in a different way. The Dragonfly only has 4 bars of heat efficiency. Wonderful. So what does 3.5 skulls look like? I mean, we're going to have to take it down pretty far, right? Let's say we want to bring the Griffin. And then, what else do we even have as an option? We could bring the Stealth Cataphract. That does put us at 3.5. We had to take it down a little bit in size, not too much. Honestly, this is okay. This is not a bad loadout. And I might even like these pilots for this. This Cataphract in particular does need the coolant. Question is Sourdough appropriate for our Black Griffin here? Tiger Tail is not a bad fit. I mean, if somebody's going to sensor lock, it's probably the Griffin. We could put Tire Fire on it. Sensor lock and sure footing would be a better combination for this one than sensor lock and bulwark. And Steamfitter's already on the Dragonfly, and that's probably even truer on the Dragonfly. I think we'll just leave it as it is. We have a mech that goes really, really early in the turn. We might be able to make something valuable happen there. Let me tab out and make sure that our scoring list of mechs is up on this other monitor. And also that I remembered to hide the thing. I totally did. Hooray. Every once in a while, I'm somewhat competent. Slightly competent. And every time it happens, I feel like celebrating it. There's still half a dozen mediums that we need to complete. And then 3 heavies. And in theory, we could probably see mediums and heavies on this mission. Centurion 9AL, the Enforcer 4R, the Party Hunchback, the Kintaro, and the Shadowhawk 2D. are the ones we're really looking for here. And then again, of course, we took 1 point of priority salvage, so we can pretty much just core everything. It is slightly better for us to try to put as many parts into the loot pool as possible for the mechs that we still need, but I'm not going to stress about it too much, given the very low chance that we would actually get to take any of the extra parts home. Alright, move up, try to flush it out. Let's go destroy some enemy units. I don't know if you know this, but sometimes they ask us to destroy enemy units. Okay, that's a pretty... Wow, we dropped in quite far away, huh?
Yes, Commander.
Let's start with the cataphract.
You betcha.
Trying to make sure nobody is outrunning it, although actually, it looks like that's not going to be the problem that we have.
Affirmative.
This thing is really fast.
Move order received.
I know I said it a bunch last episode, and I'm going to try to not sound like a broken record here, but I really am pleased with having picked up this cataphract. This has given us a lot of neat capabilities in city combat. It definitely needs a name. Not all of our mechs have been given names because I'm lazy, but we should probably name all of the ones in the bay. A Banshee 3S. Definitely not a mech that I was expecting to see on a mission that is... I mean, the mission text did say, there's one big scary mech out there and we need you to do something about it. I think I'm going to reserve down under it, though. I'm curious if it will come toward us, now that we're, kind of nearby. And I know it kind of can't see us, but I'm just curious what it will do. I would love to get it to give up its bulwark, if we could. Oh, interesting. It's not the only thing that moves on one here, huh? Okay, then let's expose somebody. You know what? Let's have it be Steamfitter. Can Steamfitter jump into... No, he cannot. I was hoping to jump into support weapons range.
How's it going?
Okay, well, what we could do instead is have the Hardlight run up. The 3S is... Yeah, I was going to say, it's much better outfitted than the Banshees we're used to seeing. So I'm a little bit leery of having anybody reveal themselves unless they are in cover or ready to take like a big hit. And I don't really think that the Warhammer is ready to get shot by this amount of weaponry. Alright, maybe what we do is have the Dragonfly jump out to here. 5 points of evasion plus... Plus, do I want to give it vigilance? No, probably not. We'll take the 5 points of evasion. We'll just wake him up a little bit here.
Eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're heading your way.
Okay. Well, I mean, we knew it wasn't just the one mech. So let's not fire a whole bunch of weapons, though.
Confirmed.
Given, him having bulwark and everything.
Yes, boss.
Huh. They have a lot of stuff that moves on one,
For orders.
apparently? That doesn't seem right.
Waiting for orders.
Well, I think we can afford to move the Cataphract up as well. And when the Cataphract fires, it will maintain stealth, right? Because it only costs 1 stealth charge to shoot.
Don't need to tell me twice.
I believe that is the case.
Let's do this.
Maybe this thing passed its turn already, but we would have seen a more explicit notification, right? I don't want to expose one of the little mechs and then have this thing gut it. Right? Because it shoots pretty hard. This arm's starting to look pretty thin. It doesn't actually have any weaponry in it. Okay, but if we keep shooting into that... arc, we are eventually going to open this thing up a little bit. Real nervous about exposing a mech with this little armor.
Waiting for orders.
I mean, it's not that much less armor than the Warhammer has, I guess. Alright, let's jump in here and give him this stuff. I'm going to keep trying to keep my mechs turned to the side to reduce the chance of a center torso
Confirmed.
problem. Okay, yes, they just have three somethings that moved on
Receiving you.
Initiative 1 before that guy did, which is really bad for us. And I get... Oh, I cannot quite get the back armor, huh? Well, that's pretty bad. But at least he's not in... at least he's no longer bulwarked.
Engaging jump jet.
So we can jump in, we can give him all this. I think I'm going to not bother aiming here. I think we'll just bank the resolve.
Affirmative.
Damn, let's do this.
We've actually stripped a lot of his armor very quickly here. And I think I'm going to reserve down and make them do stuff, because obviously we have the cloaking. Steam fitter, hush. We should turn off the comms in his mech. We have the advantage of the cloak right now. Let's take it. Let's take advantage of the advantage that we have. You know what I'm trying to say.
Awaiting orders.
Okay. So now that the Griffin is revealed no matter what, I think I do just want to start committing other people real hard. And this seems like a good time to go in with the flamethrower.
Lifting off.
So we want to make the Griffin not necessarily the most attractive target. So how is the armor on that torso section? It's still fairly thick, actually, but, I mean, we got to start working on it, right? Okay, cool. We managed to cook off that ammo. And we put him in a pretty rough spot heat-wise while destroying a torso section that had a bunch of heat sinks in it, so I feel pretty good about that. Let's jump you into the water. I don't think we're going to have to use the coolant this turn. Yeah, because we can't get the small lasers off, but it's definitely soon. So do I want to just try to go for his center? No, I think we can save resolve here.
Knocking on target.
Okay, he's just about done for.
Go. Waiting on you, Commander.
It may turn out to be the case that the flamethrowers were not necessary.
Coordinates received. Tell me what to do.
Give him everything you got.
And honestly, looking at the amount of heat we're generating, even with alpha strikes on some of these mechs,
Ready for order.
I'm wondering if maybe I set the acceptable coolant, the acceptable heat efficiency level too high here, because this is really going down pretty smoothly. I mean, it helps that we have access to this water feature. Let's just try to leg you, or no, we'll go in through the torso. My concern with legging him is that he's still going to end up getting up before most of our mechs can shoot at him.
Mech warriors.
Wait, how did I damage... Am I not in his side arc?
Standing by.
Oh no, I'm in his front. I had assumed I was in his side arc. I was going to say, how did I damage the arm on the other side? You do not have ace pilot. I can jump you over here. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not vulnerable to harassment from too many enemies all at once here. Okay. Do I even want to aim? We'll drop below the resolve threshold and we won't have enough for another precision strike. Nah, let's just do it like this.
Confirmed.
Alright, well he's looking marginally less dangerous, but to be fair, he was only marginally dangerous in the first place. That is not a smart play. So obviously that cicada's getting punched, because evasion pips do not reduce your melee accuracy. Do we want to punch it now? No, probably what we want to do right now is finish this guy off. But...
Good to go.
if that's true, I want to finish him off before he gets a chance to do stuff, right? If that's true, it's probably this mech that wants to do it, because, like, the Dragonfly and the Warhammer both punch much more effectively.
Got it.
Unfortunately, we're not quite in his side arc, but the LB-10X should take care of him either way here.
Firing everything I've got. Did you see that? Did you see it?
Easy enough.
Yes, Commander.
Okay. Let's have it be the Warhammer? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Ooh, I can hit him in the back armor, too. Yeah, this has a pretty good chance of being immediately lethal.
On the move.
Kicked his leg all the way up into his torso. And stripped all of the back armor, which is a shame because now his back is going to be on the ground. I feel like if you score a melee attack from the back that knocks people over, it should knock them onto their front.
How might I help?
I know that would be very, very powerful, which is, I'm sure, why it doesn't work that way. But I still think that's how it should work. Even though I know there's a really good reason for it not to work that way. I think it would be cool, and that's all the justification I need. Do I want to do this? Yeah, let's get way too aggressive. That's always fun. So we're going to have to turn off... Oh, not as much as I thought. I was going to say almost everything, but we're still going to hit him with the flamethrowers. But it looks like we actually get to fire most of our weapons. And also, we don't get to fire them very well. I think I'm just going to try to core him. Okay. The large laser missing entirely is not a good start.
Good to go.
Okay, you probably do actually have to just fall back into the water. Why could I not get in the water? Even with the jump, that's weird. I can jump to here, but not to the water spaces. Don't we know there are water spaces there? Weren't we standing in one earlier? Hold on.
Roger that. Holding.
You're going to reserve down. You're going to go later in the turn. I was hoping that guy wouldn't go first. It makes sense. That's the right move for them, but it's still a bummer. And then we're going to get a back armor shot, but he only has a medium laser. Oh no, that's not... Sorry, we killed the one with the medium laser. That's right.
Reporting.
So we're going to have the dragonfly run over and throw a punch. Do I want to punch from the front now that I've thinned the center armor so much? 9... Well, he's still got a lot of torso center armor, though. Or torso armor. Yeah, we're better off throwing the punch from the back. Plus, I probably generate slightly more evasion this way, and we're just going to leave the flamethrowers on and
Have no doubt.
turn him all the way off. Okay.
Engaging.
That is a quick draw 5A. I do feel like your pilot should be able to see that the enemy pilot has been killed and quickly turn off the guns. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Oof, that's a very aggressive turn in terms of heat generation. Especially when you just saw an enemy fire that many flamethrowers.
Yes, Commander.
So definitely some questionable decision-making on that one.
Locked on for physical attack.
There you go. It turns out it's easier to hit the top half if you use your top half limbs. I don't know why you didn't think of that earlier.
Waiting for orders. I hear ya.
Let's have the cataphract move up and just
On my way.
give this guy a very serious pat on the back.
This should be good.
And it may end up not even mattering that we're having weird problems moving our griffin around.
Stayed.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. That was really fast, actually. So we were starting to see some detriment, some decision-making that had to be changed from our wheel restriction there. And that's basically what I want from them, right, is for them to change up my decision-making so I'm not doing the same thing we would be doing under all circumstances. Hold on a second. I had the list scrolled incorrectly. We do, in fact, need both the Cicada 2A and the 3C. I was looking at the things we were fighting there and looking over at my my scoring list and going, did I really finish the cicadas? But no, I did not, so that seems like a reasonable grab. And we can hope to get the other cicada part as well? We totally did. That's actually very lucky. And we finished another Phoenix Hawk. That's really, really lucky. I feel pretty good about that. Alright, so that's one more mech off of the scoring list. We still have 6 mediums then, with that one removed. 6 mediums, 3 heavies, and a bunch of assaults. The assaults, I think, are going to particularly be a problem because the game has had a lot of really heavy mechs added. There's no universe where we are using a cicada. I suppose we could use a cicada as a penance mech if I wanted to go, like, really hard on making the penance mech a punishment. But, like, I still want missions where the penance mech is part of the thing to be fun to watch. A cicada's just, like, what a very bad, no good, no fun robot. Alright, let's figure out what our next plan is. I guess, actually... Oh, there's a flashpoint. Well, we should probably get this done before we leave this corner of the galaxy. Unfortunately, it's a 27-day travel that doesn't take us across any new systems. Oh no, that's not true. It'll take us past Horsham. So that's something. Okay, I do think that that's the right move. Before we do that, let's make sure that we get all necessary repairs in the mech bay. And we should probably make a decision as to whether we want to try to cut one of our heavy mechs for something lighter so that we have a greater variety of mechs available for lighter challenges. Because we do have a lot of heavy stuff, right? We only have 3 mechs. Oh, sorry, 4. We have 4 mechs at 45 or below. And then a 50 and 2 55s. You know what? 2 50s and 2 55s. Maybe we're fine, actually. We're not necessarily planning to do a ton of low... that's not what I wanted. A ton of low skull missions. It's just, you know, sometimes we will have to in order to start working on our rep. But I think we can do this. So this is going to raise our Federated Suns rep, which is a little unfortunate because we do want that zeroed out. Or rather, negative 100 out. 100 out. We want it low, is the words I'm trying to express. We'll worry about it later. We'll figure it out afterward. So, since we're not traveling very far, and we're about to do a flashpoint and probably make some real money... okay, the Draconis Combine like us. I'm wondering if this is a good time to lay in... I'm just clicking on all the wrong buttons here. If this is a good time to lay in one of these expensive medical upgrades. Yeah, you know what? Let's get it done. Because these medical point upgrades actually do still have real game meaning for us. Pilots getting back from being injured is a big deal. And the final medical upgrade does reduce the likelihood of pilots dying when their mechs get blown up, so... it could end up mattering quite a bit. And we're just going to have to do all right on this mission. Or on the missions on this world. It doesn't have to be that, the flashpoint specifically. It just has to be us making money before we leave Nondiz. In the daily briefing, Sumeri brings up an open hail from a nearby ship. They say their crew has contracted a virulent case of the periphery pox. Yeah, we've seen this event plenty of times. I think we can afford to just give them some medical supplies. Gained a reputation with the Federated Suns. That was not exactly who we wanted to do that with, but there's like no downside to doing that at all.
Got a new financial report for you.
At the moment, our medical points don't really matter. Okay, things are going to get just like a little bit close is all. Sorry, things would have to go very, very badly indeed for us to actually be in any danger here, because we could, even if we don't succeed at the flashpoint somehow, we could still sell off an awful lot of stockpiled garbage without it even really affecting our company in any way. We have a ton of mech components. Even after me having sold off a lot of our spare components earlier, like, if you just do missions, you're acquiring hundreds of medium lasers without even having to try it. We have heat sinks, we have extra copies of some mechs now. Like, we could sell off one of our Phoenix Hawks. We'll be alright. When we get to Nondiz, we should probably actually have a look at the scoreboard, because I haven't sort of analyzed our scoring position in a while. I'm curious how close we are to having enough unique mechs to max out the number of unique chassis owned bonus. Alright, have we... What is the cost of the final one of these? 2.7. Okay. We do really need to get this done for scoring reasons as well, because finishing out the Argo is a big source of points. But we have lots and lots of time on that. And I'm going to hold that last morale upgrade that we have available there until the very end of the game. We'll launch it when it will finish one day before we run out of time. Just in case we get a bad event that happens close to the end of the game that lowers morale. Because that can occur after you have made your final pay decision, And while there is not a huge... Hold on, we'll get to non-diz. There's not a huge bonus for being capped on morale. There is some score for each point of morale that you have, so we can hold this last upgrade and try to counteract that in case something silly should happen. Before we get into the flashpoint, let's just assuage my curiosity here. This is a Federated Suns world, but yeah, there's still lots of people who want us to do horrible things to the Federated Suns upon it. And some of these missions are actually like very high difficulty. We should be able to get some interesting stuff going here. We will not be able to use the store, so it's no sense looking at that. And let's just have a look at this. So yes, we have capped out our number of unique mech chassis. That's pretty good. We're working hard on contracts and C-bills, just, you know, make money, complete contracts. Weight class completion, of course, is tricky. Chassis completion fires when you have all 4 points of weight class completion. So it's a lot of points we're talking about there. If you look at the theoretical maximum, this is a huge percentage of that. It's very important we get it done. Mech Warrior experience, we're working on this as much as we can. We will not cap out star systems visited. We've spent too much time bouncing around in this one corner of the galaxy, but we'll, after we finish this, I'm hoping to get us out into the greater galaxy and visit a bunch of new places. Star system completion requires you to make 170 star systems. I think the amount of time we spent trying to make it so that we could do the Liao Company flashpoint probably made this undoable for us. And that's a fine trade-off, but, you know, it is a lot of points. I do feel a little bad. We're working on our reputations, trying hard to get our reputations into sensible spots. You can see here the Argo upgrades. When we build these last two things, we're going to get a lot of points for that. We will cap out on Mercenary Review Board reputation fairly soon. We're at 880 of the 1,000 that is available, and that's unlikely to ever go down again once we finish it. The only way that could go down is if we flee battles in bad standing, which, fingers crossed, we won't have to do very much. Alright, let's do the thing. House Davian requests your assistance in the transportation and custodial exchange of a high-profile prisoner. This is valuable for us. It's valuable for us to do this before the other missions on the world, because those other missions on the world will probably let us crash our Federated Suns rep back down to negative 100. And then hopefully we can leave this corner of the galaxy never to return. Commander, I'm pleased you finally made it. Judgy from the very first sentence. I have a job for you. And what can we do for you, Lady Cunningham? The local constabulary of this charming little world is holding a woman named Ayasha Hadley. I want you to bring Ms. Hadley, alias Atepa Sweeney, alias the Fox of New Avalon, into my custody. Ms. Hadley stands accused of a number of high-profile robberies, including the brazen theft of the royal family's pleasure yacht. It is absolutely vital that she be returned to New Avalon for interrogation. The Fox of New Avalon, huh? That's funny. I thought the Fox was Hans Davian's nickname. Is he... Which important Davian guy is he? First Prince of the Federated Suns. Okay, that seems pretty important. It is his nickname. Hadley stole it from him, just like she stole the damned yacht. That's not even a thing you can do. Wow, I'll bet the First Prince is righteously pissed. You have no idea. The non-Diz constabulary has already bundled Ms. Hadley into a prison transport. I need you to get that transport to a waiting dropship for extradition. Alright, that sounds simple enough. What's the catch? Expect a long and hazardous road ahead of you. The non-Diz Badlands are rife with banditry, and a transport, even a prison transport, could make for an enticing target. You'll find an armored repair bay at the midpoint of your journey. I recommend that you make use of it. We can do that. Good. Oh, and Commander, a word of advice. If Ms. Hadley attempts to speak to you, don't listen to her. She's a manipulative and dangerous woman, and she'll trick you into dooming yourself if you let her. Understood, Lady Cunningham. Don't worry, we'll get you your captive in one piece. We have never had any success with not listening to somebody. For some reason, it's like completely trivially easy to open up our comms, so I'm not confident that we'll be able to stick to that. Also, look at all the money. I'm just now noticing the max pay on these jobs. That's very exciting. Alright, let's get in here, and of course you know what the final step is before we get in here. Let's find out what the Blood Wheel would ask of us today to prove our devotion. To prove our devotion, high fives for everyone. Everybody knows that the high five is the Blood Wheel's most sacred ritual. So, in case you don't remember, transitive high five, 2 mechs must melee the same target at some point during the... 2 of my mechs must melee the same target at some point during this. 3.5 skulls is... I mean, as we've seen, it's a place where there can be valuable salvage, but we're also a little short on cash, and there's a lot of money on the line here. I think I'm going to lean toward cash on this one, because the maximum available salvage is pretty low, and we can worry about salvage on the other missions on this world, potentially, because this does have a higher max pay than even those other jobs that I was excited about the pay of. Alright, so, transitive high five means that we want to be rocking some mechs who can get close enough to throw some punches, and to be perfectly honest with you, our current setup is not bad for that. The difficulty modifier on this is only 0.5, so we're allowed to run up to a 4-skull lance, which is probably just replace the griffin with something else and let the hardlight and the dragonfly be the ones that we intend to do the punching. And honestly, it's a desert biome, so we probably want to take it a little bit easy on the heat. Bring in one of our more efficient mechs. And I mean, we might be running the same group of pilots here. We certainly have other people who could use some XP, but I don't want to screw up the flashpoint, because usually the rewards for a flashpoint are pretty good. Let's just go ahead and roll pretty hard on this one. And well, after this mission, we'll probably want to jump out and make sure Foxglove actually has all the skill points to which he is entitled. But yeah, I think this is a reasonable team here. So, really any one of these mechs is capable of throwing a decent punch. The Cataphract's stealth will help us get up in range, and yeah, I'm not too worried about it. The only way this could really break, where it would be super hard for us to get the restriction done, is if we are unable to keep an enemy alive through a punch. If we keep killing them with our first punch so that there's nobody to land a second punch on. Now, obviously, in these difficult times, if you want to celebrate the glorious Blood Wheel in your own home among your own trusted friends, we recommend gloves for the high five. It is also acceptable to do a transitive high five through a huge robot if you have one available, clearly.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, ready to get moving as soon as you reach the rendezvous point. These fields are absolutely lousy with bandits and highwaymen, and they're desperate enough to take a shot at anyone passing through their territory. That may even include battle mechs, so get ready for incoming fire. I'm not afraid. Listen, I've killed an awful lot of people driving an awful lot of different conveyances. I'm not too worried about your bandits. What I'm doing here is I'm setting up the irony so that when we get totally wrecked, it will be very funny.
Consider it done.
Aye, aye.
I'm going to be honest with you, I do vaguely remember the plot of this one. I'm pretty sure that Lady Cunningham is not joking when she tells us that this prisoner is very manipulative. But I remember kind of like agonizing over whether or not it was a good idea to do something that the prisoner asked of us.
On the move.
But I don't remember what the outcomes were, so
Location confirmed.
despite the fact that I do have a vague memory of this, I still might not make a reasonable decision. I guess we'll see.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Alright, and then we're going to have
Orders.
the Warhammer run way up, and maybe we won't move anybody else this turn. We could have somebody step in. I just don't want to get too split up, you know?
Roger that.
Alright, the faster we can offload Ms. Hadley, the happier I'll be. Makes sense to me. Where are we even... We're going that way? Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that the stealth will work on the vehicles. That's pretty cool. So if all the prison transport convoy units survive, we get a percentage pay bonus on the pretty huge amount of pay that we're getting already. So obviously it would be cool if we could make that work.
Standing by.
You will only be able to fire your AC-10 here. It's unlikely to really help, so I think... Actually, I think what we do is reserve.
Reserving action.
I want to start by moving the cataphract up.
Got it.
There we go. Now I feel a little bit more secure. One of these guys is going to move forward and ruin the illusion, but the others will stay hidden. And then let's see how they punish us. Okay. Do not like all of this bulwark.
Delay. Okay.
Oh, he also delayed. Interesting.
What's the plan?
Look at them all attempting to have tactics and stuff.
Yes, Commander.
So we do need to try to get our mechs close to the enemies. I'm not really sure what the best... I mean, is it... It may well be that the smart move here is just have some people sprint down the road. Don't try to fight anybody right now. What, are all narcs missiles? Or, no, ballistic and energy. Okay. Interesting.
You have orders?
It is cool for our allies to have the ability to mark people.
As you wish.
I'm a little worried about being able to keep all of our allies alive here. My suspicion is that they're going to make it hard to keep them stealthed. And yeah, I don't necessarily think it's worth shooting a single long-range weapon at these guys in bulwark mode. Let's just keep rushing them.
Hell yeah.
I'm hopeful that the enemies will forget about melee attacks. Melee attacks on vehicles are very, very effective. Let's have you jump in. Just make some noise, hopefully draw a little bit of attention. I think we'll shoot this guy. We'll not use the narc beacon, or man, he's got a lot of health though. Maybe we do want to use the narc beacon. So this side is the AC-10 plus... Okay, he's pretty symmetrical aside from the AC-10 and the LRM. Maybe the right move is to go for one of the legs? I'm going to go for one of the legs.
Affirmative.
Alright, so now he's taking bonus damage from all weapon types. Yeah, see, stuff like that makes me think it's going to be maybe very, very difficult to prevent this from turning into us delivering maybe like 2 of our charges instead of all 4. Let's see, we can definitely just turn you off. I think I'm going to do that.
Here we go.
We'll commit real deep, make ourselves visible to all of the enemies in the hopes of getting some attention.
I have a good feeling about it.
And then there's a real good chance this guy's getting punched next turn. You know, you guys could focus on the ones that aren't already taken care of. That might be a little safer for you. Okay. The plan is working, although is that going to be a multi-target? Nope, he just stood perfectly still and fired only one weapon. Weird choice. Okay, yeah. So the plan is going to be for these two to sandwich the Thunderbolt between them for the high 5 next turn. Ooh. Yep. So there was no way we could have done that then. It is very often the case that defend all the buildings and defend all the vehicles missions are just not possible. Yeah, let's jump in. Extend the cloud over people a little bit more effectively. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and spend the resolve. Let's go for this dude's leg. I think we got it. Yeah. Alright, at this point, we just need one of the transports to make it through in order to win. Which I am relatively confident we can make happen. Although we sure did knock that guy down in kind of an inconvenient spot. Alright, machine guns doing that thing that machine guns do.
Battle mech power-up detected.
Orders.
Alright, so he's pinned in place nice and close. Do I want to just finish off this Orion? It does still have an AC-10 on it. It is not the most dangerous thing we're facing here, but it is pretty easy to kill.
Target acquired.
Let's go.
And just reducing the total number of enemies definitely has a lot of value. Now, one thing I'm pretty worried about is what the other Thunderbolt is going to do here.
Awaiting orders.
Do I think that I will be able to have this cataphract, like, really affect it, though? They're pretty tough. Yeah, we're not going to be able to punch through the armor on any of his parts. I guess we could get real close and... Oh, you know what we could do is we could active probe ping and just screw up everybody's aim. Honestly, maybe that's... Yeah, maybe that's exactly what we want to do.
Coordinates received.
I'm going to Vigilance first.
I've got a sensor lock.
Okay. That generates a lot of heat for what it is. Okay, get that guy to commit, and then we go in for the punches.
Reporting.
So first things first, you... Wait, can I not punch the... I cannot punch the other guy, it looks like. Well, this probably still works. Ooh, they're both only showing the ability to punch from that one spot. Well, I guess let's try it out and see what happens.
Locked on for physical attack.
And the flamethrowers won't shut him down, but they will put him pretty high up.
Standing by.
And no, he is not allowed to melee anybody. For some reason. Okay, well, he definitely should be. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I think let's jump over and just try to kill this guy then. Or kill the one we're not, the one we haven't thrown a punch at.
Firing.
And that is why you don't keep 400 long-range missiles in your center torso. Alright, we are about to have additional dudes. And by are about to have, we mean currently have. Those dudes absolutely just teleported onto the battlefield. Alright, well, we should be able to land a punch with the Warhammer on that dude pretty easily on our coming turn here, so we should still get the job done. But I'm pretty annoyed that we were not able to punch the guy we were trying to punch, presumably because he's standing on the hillside.
Good to go.
Sometimes elevation stuff is weird. So what did we get dropped on us? Wow, a lot of very large, very terrifying enemies, actually.
Got it.
Let's just go for... So let's see, we would take off a ton of his heat sinks if we blew off his right side. I'm just going to go for his center. This is not going to be a kill. And we may as well turn the Narc beacon on. There's probably only 5 targets left, so... 1 beacon shot for each of them. Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way that'll kill him, but it'll soften him up. And
What can I do for you?
the Cataphract can fall back to here and also shoot that guy.
Got it.
And I may as well precision strike. We know we're planning to throw a punch with one of the other mechs, and I don't think we're going to need the resolve.
When I shoot you, you'll take it and like it.
Okay, so that guy has, I sure hope, kept himself inside punching range.
Damage is light.
Reporting.
Yes, he has. Okay, cool. And we get to throw it from the back armor as well. And it's well timed in terms of our heating cycle.
On for physical attack. attack.
Okay, there we go.
That
The blood
should
wheel
be
is sated,
good.
and now we just have to not die. And we definitely do want to kill all the bandits if possible, because there is money on the line. Can I... Yes, I can throw a punch from here. I think I'm going to turn off the flamethrowers, because I think this guy is probably pretty close to just being dead. Actually, man, he's really not, is he? Well, even so, I think we'd best save the flamethrower fuel. So that being the case, do I want to... I want to just shoot the rest of the weapons instead? No, I want to deal 105 damage in a single chunk to a single body part. Was that... Did that hit his leg? It did. That's a shame. It would have been nice to soften up the center armor before we get to all shoot at him while he's downed. Boy, they are desperate to blow up those trucks. I do wonder why they don't have objectives like this be you get a certain amount of money for each member of the convoy that delivers, instead of having it be there's a huge bonus for 4 and then no amount of money at all for anything less than that. Seems very strange. Come on. Somehow find a way to kill him with your tiny weapons. We might have to bounce, honestly. This is a lot of metal coming our way. Now, granted, we do have some pretty good damage output, but we don't have a lot of like high sniping capability, so we're not going to be able to just remove enemy mechs from the battlefield immediately all the time. And I think we're gonna find that this is actually quite tricky on the whole. Maybe I want to just burn out this Thunderbolt now while he's laying on the ground so that we don't have anybody inside the ECM circle. I think that's right. We try to control their vision of us a little bit better. No sense in beaconing him. Come on. We didn't get an ammo explosion on that? That's a shame. So he can't have very much health left.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, that's a real bummer that worked out that way.
Good to go.
I think I'm going to have the Cataphract finish him off, because we can do it with just the machine guns, probably.
Time to die. Should have run when you had the chance.
Okay, now they don't have any direct vision of us anymore. You're not actually in the zone, so you need to fix that.
I'm getting blown apart out here.
Oh, they also have a stealth Cataphract, I guess. That's what that is.
Let's do this.
Boy, yeah. Proceed to the repair bay. Maybe we need to think about running away. I'm gonna run to cover for right now. And, or maybe jump to cover so that I can be facing an appropriate direction. I'm gonna jump. I could jump further.
Drifting off.
Gonna get in here and cloak and brace. Just lose some heat. And then I'm gonna reserve down with the Dragonfly, because the Dragonfly's in the cloak zone already. Let's let them all take their turns, then we'll Dragonfly one of them, and then we'll,
They've got a sensor lock on me.
Huh. That's a larger area than I thought that hit. Doesn't it hit a pretty small...
Reporting heavy damage.
I mean, no, I guess not, obviously, but... seems like it ought to only hit a pretty small area. So what are we actually looking at here? This Warhammer is pretty scary, but runs real hot. Honestly, all of these mechs can be turned off pretty easily. But actually, I think maybe what I want to do here is just fall back and center torso this dude. Yeah, because we can probably kill him and then have the turn end immediately.
Locking on target.
Okay, he's down. So now it's a 4-on-4, but they have a pretty huge advantage in terms of freshness. We have a lot of lost armor already.
Receiving you.
We can focus our damage pretty fast. I'm not really sure what the right move is here. We could try to just chill out. If I reserve down, they're going to send somebody in to break our vision. You can't do that that active ping thing. Yeah, okay, it has a cooldown. So they can't do the active ping again. So let's send someone in and then we'll just, like, dust that guy. Yeah, I kind of think that's what I want to do. I want to make them have to make the move here. Oh. Well, then I also reserve again. And now if you hit reserve again, you lose all your turns. So you better do something. Okay. So their Warhammer has volunteered as tribute. He ran in such a way that we are going to be able to shoot him in the back very, very easily. So I think we should do that. I'd hate to disappoint him. I'm trying to do this in such a way that I'm not also trivial to shoot in the back. My right side is all messed up, and there's no way for me to stand so that my left side is what's facing him. Actually, we're in kind of a lot of trouble here. Maybe the right play is, rather than trying to go for any fancy stuff with his backside, we just try to Warhammer him to death real fast, because the Warhammer does hit very hard. Right now I have 5 evasion and bulwark, though. Do I want to spoil that?
Reporting.
There's still 3 of them left to go. The default design of the Cataphract 0X doesn't really have any damage. This Rifleman sure does, though. And then there's also this Marauder. Okay, maybe the right play is Dragonfly jumps out and turns off the Marauder. Do I want to bother giving him everything? I mean, I guess we gotta start doing the work of getting through him. And it would be nice if we could remove his Lance Command mod. So I guess let's get started on that.
I understand.
Didn't quite pierce the armor. That's a shame.
Battle mech power-up detected.
Okay, but we skipped his
Waiting
turn.
for orders.
Now they only have 2 guys left. And only one of them is a real guy. So then we could have... We could have Boombox move into... move right up into their faces here. Do we have... We only have 46 resolve. So even if we got a kill, we would not have... Even if we used a precision strike and got a kill off of it, we would not have enough for another precision strike. And I really do want to precision strike with the Warhammer. I'm just very nervous about, you know, getting killed to death. Oh wait, that's the Cataphract.
Commander.
To death is one of my least favorite ways to get killed. If we go to right here, continue to show our left side, I'm going to go for it.
Firing jump jet.
We are probably going to have to use the vent, right? Yeah. Absolutely acceptable. Alright, let's see that Warhammer do what that Warhammer does best.
On it.
God, that's a lot of damage. Do you see the clustering? Do you see how tight that shot was? That's so much damage. Okay, interesting. I had assumed that they would go after the Warhammer because it presents a slightly softer target, but I guess the Dragonfly is already missing a lot of armor. And then let's have you... I care about the Rifleman a lot more than I care about the Marauder.
Moving to position.
Let's just do this. Okay, the Narc did land.
Waiting on you, Commander. I read you, Commander. Moving out.
So Cruz probably needs to hit the coolant vent. We're going to go all weapons in on one of these dudes. I mean, one of these dudes. It's this one. He is by a large margin the more dangerous of them.
Warriors, show 'em what you got.
And he's also the easier one to kill, which is a nice coincidence for us. So we're probably going to get a knockdown here. Do I need to precision strike? I'm going to. I really do want to rip some of the guns off. Or just core him is also good. Sometimes you just core him.
That's a kill.
Ah, well, this is starting to look a little bit better.
Awaiting orders.
Why don't you punch him with your flamethrowers? You know, give him the old flame punch.
Engaging.
When I was putting this
My flamer is at
when I was putting this dragonfly design together,
Battle mech
I thought it was kind of a goofy, gimmicky thing I was doing. We have ended up getting a ton of actual use out of it, though. It does good work. Let's have you run in and... I mean, I kind of want to maintain bulwark. Can we keep the PPCs if I turn off both? Yes, okay. We are doing that then.
reporting. Critical hit.
I think I hard missed with one entire group of PPC shots. That's not great. So he is weak from this side. Punch for 95. I'd much rather fire the LB-10X, I think.
Moving out. Got it. Another hit like that and you're toast.
We're having a remarkably hard time killing what I was not expecting to be much of a problem of an enemy mech here.
On my way.
Well, you're getting the whole thing.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
So we'll be able to knock him down at least. It's definitely the dragonfly moving next because we have to reposition
Thermal
it.
damage. Yes, Commander.
There's a fair amount of flashpoint left, if I'm not mistaken here. I'm not happy about what poor shape this thing is already in. I guess I could probably do this while walking and not not destroy my heat levels quite so badly. He is on... Okay, he's very nearly dead.
Confirmed. Solid connection on that one.
17 health, and he's knocked down. Should be easy enough for anyone to clean up.
Good to go.
And then we are, weird that our objective to destroy the enemy reinforcements seems to have disappeared. But we should be good here. Sure, we're keeping our left side showing as much as possible. Go to the center, and we can probably hit him with just, like, 2 of the small lasers. We just need either one of them to make actual contact. Wow, one of them hard missed and the other one didn't go where it was aimed.
Commander.
That really sucks. Alright, let's do this. So we're recloaking everybody.
On my way.
And then turn off most of this. There we go.
Did you see that? Did
It's a
you
really embarrassing showing from Foxglove there. We reserve down, we make him come forward. You can't do this to me. Okay, that was not too bad. That could have been worse.
Awaiting orders.
So how do we want to do this? Guy does have bulwark. You could get the back armor, but you don't have coolant vent or anything. You also don't have coolant vent, but you can still do some damage. I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm committing real hard here, so my right arm is the one that's screwed up.
Engaging jump jet.
Let's shoot him in the back armor with a couple of mechs that cannot, sadly, use their full weapon complements. If I pull both the small lasers, can I do... No. Alright, well, we'll just use this. This is fine. He's still fairly tough.
Got the angle. Taking the shot.
Okay, not tough enough. Those snub PPCs are terrifying weapons. Alright, they're in the repair bay, safe and sound, and we're going to keep you that way. Don't get too comfortable down there. We've got 2 unidentified dropships on an approach trajectory. So yeah, they'll be touching down in the next few minutes. We do not actually have time for full repairs, but we do have an awful lot of robots. We could just do some swaps, you know? That said, obviously, we're not going to be doing this this next one this episode. So, 1.2 million C-bills. That's a pretty good start for the Flashpoint. And then I flipped away from the scoring list here. Here we go. Do we need any of these guys? Thunderbolt 5S is the... yes, actually. This is one we do still need to complete. So that makes that pretty straightforward. That's a fine piece of gear. That's a great piece of gear, but I don't think there's any way that we turn down mech completion at this point. Oh wow, they gave us the good large laser too. Cool. We've gotten very lucky on loot today. That's two mechs crossed off of our list. That's a pretty significant portion of the total mechs remaining that we needed to build out. I'm very happy with the way this is going. And this Flashpoint's going to end up being worth... this planet as a whole, I should say, is going to end up being worth a ton of cash. We are not going to have to worry about operating expenses anytime soon. Are we going to get a little storyline thing, or is it going to throw us right into the next mission? I don't see any reason that we would want to put anything else into storage for this guy. Okay, it's just going to throw us right in. So let's go ahead and roll our next restriction, and we'll do setup, and then I'll save it once we get in the mission. So it didn't work. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to get it to maintain state between instances. Okay, close range spotter. Y'all know how this one works. This is also a classic. The new ones are a little shy, it seems like. So we can only shoot at targets that are within the support weapon range of one of our mechs. That doesn't mean we have to actually have a support weapon on that mech. It just we can only shoot at things that are within 90 meters of one of our guys. So that can pose a problem with these very high difficulty enemies. Let's say we don't use either of these two because they're so damaged. The Orion makes a fine close range spotter mech. We could... No, it's pretty much down to him, huh? So let's say we want to bring in like something real big and terrifying. So we really want to wreck face here. Bring in the Marauder as well, because we're taking the mission seriously. That's probably going to make it impossible for us to hit the four symbol drop tonnage we're looking for. Okay, what about if we replace the Annihilator with the other Cataphrax, the one that has the Gauss rifle? And then we have 1 symbol worth of... No, that's still half a symbol. Shoot. It's like, this is going to take us to... Well, no, that takes us to 4. You know, this probably works. The Thunderbolt is heat efficient-ish. These are some... Several of these mechs run real hot. And then we want somebody with extraordinary aim on the hoplite. And preferably somebody who has breaching shot. So... Tire fire. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then she can, on the turns when she can't use everything because it's overheated, she can just hit the sensor lock. This probably does not need to have Thunderbolt on it. Cataphract being piloted by crews makes a lot of sense to me. Although obviously, maybe these two should be switched. The breaching shot on the Gauss rifle instead. Yeah, because the hoplite does run really hot. And then Steam Fitter on the boombox is great. So who wants to drive this Thunderbolt? I'm inclined to say like maybe Uncrackable. You might want to split the missile pods. It's nice to have breaching shot on the missile pods. And also this thing's tough enough that running it up in front of everybody with Bulwark on maybe makes sense, where we probably want to keep these two a little bit further back. Yeah, this doesn't actually give us great close-range spotter. I mean, obviously I would really like to have the Grasshopper available to do that job, but we do not. We're just going to have to rely on clever positioning, is all. I think we can figure this out. This seems totally doable to me. And with that, I think we can call it there. I can go ahead and save the mission once we get dropped on the planet. So that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow, when we see whether we will be broken over the blood wheel or whether we will prove our faith, as we always do, as we 95% of the time manage to. And we'll see you then.